So, BTT viewer Jason actually left a comment on the live watch-along, which I think sums up this week's episode perfectly, which is, oh my god, I have never screamed just kill somebody, anybody, at a show before until now. That's right, you can't be a crime lord without killing. It is 100% a part of the job description. I actually think Boba's enemies are going pretty easy on him, considering how poorly he's holding on to this new territory. I think someone who even isn't usually interested in crime would watch what was going down and be like, I think I could take Boba Fett, which is a crime in and of itself. I was going to say this at the end of the video, but I'll say it now. Perhaps sometimes some mysteries are best left unsolved because Boba Fett was such a popular character for decades, and they're just ruining him. It's Kingpin all over again. If Disney proper, and I say proper because as some of you have pointed out, the very R-rated and perhaps even X-rated Pam and Tommy will air on Disney Plus where Star is included as part of the package. Hilarious! But if Disney proper can't tell more adult stories, they should stay away from adult characters. They had no business telling a Boba Fett story. They even promised they were going to make it more adult. Like, make Boba Fett just say up front that he's decided to give up being a bounty hunter and that kind of life. Instead of us just waiting, and everyone in the show waiting every week for him to finally frickin' do something which is within character. Let's see what happens with Moon Knight, which is promised also to be a very dark show. But if that doesn't deliver after Kingpin and now Boba Fett, I think we have a real problem here. Well, a bigger problem because, of course, Boba Fett Episode 3 is a problem in and of itself. Even the Rancor has been Disney-fied, turned into a noble steed for Boba. So what, now Luke's a jerk for having killed the other one? Like, if only Luke had taken a moment to understand the Rancor, like Boba Fett and Danny Trejo. I mean, it makes Luke look really bad. Peter's gonna send Luke a letter, man. They're gonna send Luke a letter. All right. And this gang of teenagers on space Vespas. Wow, Star Wars will never live this down, and neither will Robert Rodriguez or this show. Are they gonna, stick around for the rest of the show? Oh, man. I mean, how do we lose Tusken Raiders and get this? I think some Tusken Raiders might still be alive, but wow. The internet immediately laughed at this new gang as straight out of Power Rangers, Back to the Future Part 2, Spy Kids, or Alita Battle Angel, when really it's all four. Pure Robert Rodriguez, who of course did two of those, and it's definitely not Star Wars. They definitely don't belong in Star Wars, but yet here they are. Speaking of Rodriguez, he's directed 2 of the 3 episodes so far, the weaker ones, and delivered yet another horrible action sequence with today's chase scene, which was more concerned with fun cameos and hijinks than any real sense of danger. In fact, Robert Rodriguez trended this morning with people saying he shouldn't be directing Star Wars. That's pretty bad. And really, the Boba Fett didn't at least beat the shit out of the mayor's assistant when they caught him is mind-boggling to me. Forget killing people, he won't even harm a hair on their head or a tentacle on their head. It's ridiculous. I can't believe Jon Favreau wrote this. He's been what's been right with Star Wars lately. It's weird to me that he wouldn't see the obvious problems with this. All right, so let's go through it. We start out with, and you might be like, why, Grace? I have some funny stuff to talk about, and we'll talk about the Witches of Dathomir. If you haven't heard of them, I'm going to tell you who they are. All right, so we start out with Boba Fett trying to figure out why things are going so poorly for him. I know, call on me, Boba. We all know. When in walks Stephen Root, who from far away looks like Jon Favreau. I thought, like many of you, I thought maybe it was a Jon Favreau guest appearance. And it's pretty interesting to think that as Star Wars gets more popular and more prolific and has more small little one-off roles like this to fill, will we start seeing more and more familiar faces as the Star Wars shows progress? And I can't quite decide if that's a good or bad thing, to be honest with you. And Stephen Root felt very much like just a fun cameo, like a fun cameo rather than like a true character like Amy Sedaris, who of course is teased here as well. But, if you're going to come to Star Wars, come to play, stick around for a little bit. Anyway, Root sells water on this desert planet Tatooine, and some pesky kids are stealing from him. And if Boba stops them, he'll double his tribute. Boba needs cash, so he's like, okay. But look how Boba rolls up to this gang. He looks more like a dad trying to get his kid to come home, like, make better life choices, son, rather than a crime lord saying, stop this, right? I mean, also, who would do this themselves? We've all watched The Sopranos. This is totally something that you outsource to a lower subordinate. You don't take care of this immediately. It's ridiculous. Boba Fett insisting on walking through the streets himself. Walking. I agree with Fennec Shand. Fennec must be just going nuts. She must be like, why am I not the head of the gang? But on that note, yeah, Boba Fett needs more henchmen. So I guess he felt he couldn't take the teenage gang. He didn't even try to fight them. There was not even a small little fight here where Boba Fett's like, I can easily dominate you, so you should work for me. Instead, Boba Fett's like, you should work for me. I don't want to fight you. And then he agrees that Stephen Root is charging too damn much for water. I don't know. Boba Fett doesn't seem to understand that when you are a crime lord, the people who pay your respects and help build your empire are other criminals who, yes, will charge too much for things. Boba Fett's like, I'm shocked that the people in my group don't have fair prices. There's no better business bureau in Mos Espa, wherever they are. All right, so anyway, I saw some comments online that this gang looks like a bunch of rich kids straight out of Riverdale, and I couldn't agree more. Get this CW trash out of here, man. If I wanted to watch the CW, I would. This is supposed to be movie-level entertainment. That's the thing. They really need to realize that people get up at like 3 a.m. People watch this, or if they don't get up when the show drops, they watch it first thing. People watch it as soon as they possibly can, because this is appointment television, and it needs to act like appointment television. All right, so anyway, then Boba has another flashback with another crisper, clearer, and longer, and just simply gorgeous shot of his father leaving in the middle of the night. And I like the contrast that he grew up on a planet of water and now he's stuck on this dust ball where he's trying to have a seat of power. But yeah, things could not be going any more different for him. And I like that contrast. I wish they would do more with it. But this shot, this memory must mean something to Boba for them to keep bringing it up. So I hope by the end, on a normal show you would find out, but I hope that at the end of this season, we understand why he keeps thinking of that. Then Boba has a Muppets crossover in his flashback. No, seriously. He goes to the Pikes to get the Tusken Raiders the payoff that was settled on last episode when they took that train, which was glorious. I hope that wasn't the highlight of the season. By the way, Easter egg, here's where he spots not only the helmets on spikes from the Mandalorian, but Amy Sedaris' Mando character and her droids running by. I bet that is not even Amy Sedaris. I bet that's digital Amy Sedaris, quite frankly. All right, now, the Pike leader says, but whoa, wait a minute, man. The Pike leader, boy, is a little bit too comfortable. I'd be like, whoa, didn't I just make you walk home? And the guy's like, yeah, but that was last episode. In this episode, I'm back on my throne, literally. Like, that's how you're a warlord. So he says, and Boba was apparently not taking notes. So anyway, he says, I'm not going to pay the Tusken Raiders and this biker gang for protection on the same territory, right? And I think that's perfectly reasonable. So Boba Fett says, fine, I'll take care of it. And I'm like, I thought you did at that bar. How big is this biker gang? But he finds out that the biker gang is one step ahead of him, a big frickin' step, as they've taken out the Tusken Raider camp while Boba Fett was away. Where is the Tusken warrior from last week? She's so cool, she probably could have taken on all of the biker gang people, or at least put up a better fight than it looks like was done. Why would the Pikes pay anything to the Tusken Raiders if they can't even hold on to their own territory? They didn't even seem like it was a fair fight. It makes Boba Fett, in my opinion, look irresponsible for getting them even involved in these illegal hijinks. I'm like, the Tusken Raiders are peaceful people. They can't handle this. And then also, it makes last week's episode a waste of time for all of us with that incredible Tusken Raider development. The pile of bodies seems a little small. I don't believe we saw the warrior. So some of them probably survived, and hopefully Boba Fett will meet up with them next week. There wasn't time this week in the half-hour episode that we got. We're almost halfway through the season, Johnny Fabs. What the heck, man? Why are you delivering half-hour episodes now? Then Boba Fett is pulled out of his flashback and literally pulled out of his tank as Santy comes in the middle of the night. Santa, he knows when you've been good, he knows when you've been bad, as the twins promised last week. They were like, sleep lightly. And I'm surprised that Santy survived as a gladiator, because as these punk kids are able to take him down. I'm like, really? With a switchblade and a switchblade? And then there's also an assist from Fennec Shand, who once again uses the Rancor trapdoor, which I think we could all totally see coming, as we did during the watch-along. But anyway, they trap Santy down below. Then at breakfast, Boba has no appetite as he can't get no respect. I thought it was hilarious that he told that poor droid to take the food back. He's like, enough food. And the droid's like, did you not see my salad art? And I'm like, I saw it, droidy. I thought it was very impressive. It's just right in the trash. He doesn't respect. Boba wants respect, but look how he's treating his own droids. But anyway, he doesn't have to go anywhere because the twins have come to him. Although, as I said during the watch along, I'm sure the twins' employees who have to carry them everywhere are like, maybe people could come to us. But I think the twins are still extremely cool. Very well realized. But they apologized. I thought it was funny that the male twin was rubbing his sweat with his food. I guess he likes a little salt on his breakfast. I thought that was funny. I don't know. Maybe it was lunch. It looked like lunch. Maybe Boba slept in. He's like, I'm depressed. But anyway, the twins reveal that the mayor has betrayed all of them and is working with the Pikes. So the twins are leaving, and they suggest that Boba Fett do the same. And they give him a parting gift, so there's no bad feelings. They also say he can keep Sandy. And they're like, here's a Rancor and Danny Trejo. You're like, wow. And then, as the cherry on this incredibly ridiculous Sunday, Boba Fett just lets Sandy go. Even Sandy can't believe it. It's like, this ain't a game of tag, dude. But there he goes. There he waltzes off the show? Probably. All right, so Danny Trejo teaches Boba Fett about the Rancor and how they're actually beautiful creatures that can imprint on humans. And again, Luke's like, I did not know that. Danny Trejo mentions the Witches of Dathomir, and even just name-checking them made a lot of you at the watch-along go crazy. You were all excited because apparently they're from the extended universe of Star Wars that Disney had supposedly gotten rid of, but seems to be very slowly bringing back. Dave Filoni's like, not so fast. So the Witches of Dathomir, legend has it they could ride the Rancors through the forest. So who are these ladies? I looked them up because they sound cool. Although, I don't know, Santy sounded really cool, and that was a major disappointment. But anyway, all right, so the Witches of Dathomir are Force-sensitive Amazons, basically, and they were founded by the Jedi Knight Aaliyah, who was exiled by the Jedi to a penal colony on Dathomir. This is a very cool story. I love this. And she started this group and taught them her ways and, I guess found Force-sensitive women, and it's a women-dominated clan. I love it. Although, how many all-female groups are we going to have? This is crazy, right? At a certain point, they're going to become indistinguishable. So one of them better start moving forward faster. I think the Dora Milaje are the most developed as of right now, and followed by the Amazons. But then we also have the Black Widows, and now the Witches of Dathomir. All right, so anyway, Boba Fett's like, ride a Rancor, you say? I would like to do that. Maybe if I rode a Rancor through the streets, they would respect me. I'd be like, no, because you still wouldn't hurt anybody, so it would just be a really cool parade. But anyway, he can ride another cool animal. I don't see why we have to ruin Rancors. Is he going to keep him in the dungeon? I mean, people will be like, I'd love to meet your Rancor. Whee! When the door opens. All right, so anyway, Boba Fett can't get an appointment with the mayor, so he shows up uninvited. He's like, I let people come and see me without an appointment, which is what happened with Stephen Root. And then also, unbelievably, the mayor assistant's like, let me go check something. And Boba Fett actually lets him go, and then is shocked when the guy makes a run for it. You're like, of course he made a run for it. Why would he willingly come back out here for a beatdown? I mean, he should have come back out, because Boba Fett's not going to beat him down. All right, super lame chase through the streets with cameos. Like, what VFX files do we have easily accessible? And these colorful Vespas are just an awful choice for Star Wars. And also, they seem to be, as many of you pointed out, so slow. Such a slow chase. It's like a kiddie ride chase. They're like, Boba Fett's chase. And although Boba Fett's not even involved in his own chase. And of course, nobody really gets hurt, right? And the Boba Fett jetpacks in at the last minute for a scolding. Oh, you, I'll see you next week. A bunch of Pikes show up at port, and Boba Fett, over the comm, uses a pun, keep an eye on things, and instantly regrets his dad joke, but it's all good. It's all good. But Boba Fett making dad jokes? What's happening here, man? The Pikes were a problem, so the Pikes are a problem. They were a problem back then, and a problem is an understatement. They were a problem, although we have a big problem all over the place. So the Pikes were a problem back then, and they're a problem again today. Boba Fett says he'll take care of them. He'll be ready for them. But he clearly didn't take care of them last time. And I seriously doubt he can take care of them now. What's he going to do, hug it out with them? He needs to fight his own battles. He needs to fight. I mean, Boba Fett was supposed to be the greatest bounty hunter ever. And he the template for all the clones. And the ones that could hit stuff, before they were replaced with civilians who were so bad. It's just incredible. As I said, maybe some mysteries are better left unsolved, or given to better people to tell them. So, I don't know. I still really liked last week's episode, but this was a huge step back, especially after it felt like we made so much progress last week. All right, so what did you think? Share your thoughts down below, subscribe today, and of course, as always, you can check out some more videos right now.